Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 41st edition of Crimson Tide Live, all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football. I'm yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and it's my partner in crime, Coach Burtz, all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football. Jeffrey's not here tonight because that work schedule is messing around with him, so he was called to the bat signal by a different location. But no worries, we've got some wild stuff for you today. We're celebrating how it's 82 days until kickoff, and we've had some recruiting wins, and we've got some upcoming days to look forward to because summer is here right now in Tuscaloosa, and it's going to be a wild ride. How you doing today, good buddy?
Doing well, doing well. Another great day in the South.
Well, I will say though, it's about to get even better. But before we start things off,
hmm
just want to tell the audience we're sorry we're late. We were filming an interview that you're gonna love. Uh, he had some technical difficulties on his end, but no worries, we got him fixed. We always get him rocking and rolling. We had Coach Mark Hudspeth on an interview. So if you're liking, commenting, subscribing, and click on the notification bell to Alabama with the Voice College Football, you're gonna want to tune into that interview because that's a really good one.
Yeah, Mark and I were roommates at Delta State, and we were in the coaching, I guess, fraternity for a period of time, and then we're always, been really, really, really close through the years, and Mark has a very interesting, uh, I guess, knowledge of football and what goes the whole scope of it. The recruiting, then dealing with players, dealing with other coaches, and that kind of stuff. And so he brings a lot to the table. He's got a wealth of knowledge and very smart, and brings a very I guess informative aspect presentation to it. Just a wealth of knowledge. Just very old school, very laid back, but a lot of common sense. And in today's world, believe the Lord, we need some common sense. And so I was glad to hear and listen to him, and he had a lot of things that he brought to the table for the viewers, and I hope they'll spend some time and listen to our discussion. It was very fun picking his brain.
It most certainly was. It was a lot of fun. And I can tell you, this is how we're getting the summer really started. Got the YouTube memberships for Alabama at the Voice of College Football all right here. $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member by having a loyalty badge next to your name, custom emojis to use in the live chat and in the comment section, and you get a member shout out. That's by becoming a Crimson Faithful member. For $4.99 a month, you can have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout with yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Coach Johnny Burtz, Jeff Reed Only Talk Sports, Manny Wilson, and Coach Smook, all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football, just by becoming a Saban disciple. But here's the big one. The Bear Bryant Legends, $9.99 a month. You can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor bad weather of any kind will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request on Alabama at the Voice College Football. But that's not all, folks. We've got the Voice of College Football website all right here. You got amazing articles. You got the Voice of College Football staff making summaries about the latest shows on the Voice of College Football. You got it all. Which Big Ten QB has the most to prove? Let's look at the writing team. You got Ben and friends you got Ben writing articles from Oregon at the Voice of College Football. The busiest woman in the land, Leanne Herring from the Rebel Walk, Kentucky Wildcats Wire, Ole Miss at the Voice of College Football, and on the Move with Mark Rogers Wednesday nights. All right there. John D'Animo from Michigan at the Voice College Football. Alec Keyser from Indiana. Hoosiers Live on Indiana at the Voice College Football. And we got the host lineup. I can tell you, Blake Lane, he's one of the busiest men on the planet because I see him going live once every few hours on Auburn, primetime live. But no worries. Guess who else making magic on Auburn at the Voice College Football? Taylor Jones. Now, he is a freaking magician. I got to tell you, that dude's a genius. There he is. And we've got all kinds of geniuses right there. Like we've got Matt Zemek, we've got Mark, we've got Matt Green, we've got them all. We've got us. We've got Ethan Inman. We've got Cameron Honesty. All of them. All of them. All right here. And you got the list of shows for each of them. Man, it's just a lot of lineups. It's amazing, huh? All of it. All right there. And of course, there's the forum discussions where you'll see your favorite team, your favorite conferences, all right there on the Voice College Football. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. And you got the news articles all right there on the Voice College Football. There it is, folks. The magic coming right there. All righty. So, Coach.
Yeah.
You had a little something you wanted to share with the audience. You do a little show and tell. And it's about the quarterback going into 2025 in the SEC.
Yeah. So I hope I do this right, Jack. This is the first time run through. So, let's see if I can start the right way. I'm going to present this little picture. I got to share screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I share this one. No? Did I share it right, Jack?
Oh, I don't see it yet. But I think the audience will.
Is that it? That's the wrong one.
Nope. But you are breaking the fourth wall inside the 16th wall, inside the 64th wall, inside the 256th wall.
What was that? Okay, so I guess
I
can.
Just a little running gag I wanted to introduce you on for a bit.
Okay. So, I want to go there. New studio. Well, present, share screen. And so now, is my screen sharing?
Not yet. But is this the QB you wanted to go over?
There we go. Now, how are we doing now?
I see.
You see my email?
Uh-huh. We're not showing that to the eyes. Don't worry.
Okay. So anyway, here we go. What do you see, Jack?
I see some red dots. I see.
Okay, there's football, right? All right. So for those that have been paying attention, been watching, I've been doing a little deep dive into SEC quarterbacks and technique and fundamentals of throwing the ball. And here you see the classic grip. And I'll say for the third, fourth time that science, ESPN did the same, with regard to coaches have always studied the science of how to make a football spiral. And this is the classic grip. And so your index finger, your pointing finger is above the stripe, the white stripe you can see right there. Your thumb typically is below the white stripe. And usually between your index finger and your thumb, there's going to be a little gap, a little, pocket where you can see through. It's not laying flat on the leather. And then your last three fingers, the middle finger, okay, goes across the very top of the lace. Then your fourth finger goes right there. We call it top 2-5. And then your little pinky, the little small finger, goes at number 5 right there. This is the classic grip. So anyway, that's where you start with regard to quarterbacks. All right. So I've been going through these quarterbacks. And so now today I'm going to try to hopefully do it right. I'm going to show you Austin Simmons of Ole Miss, and I'm going to show you who is Auburn? Anyway, Austin Simmons, my mind went blank for a second right there.
Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold. I want to say Jackson Dart because all of a sudden that Jackson, that's Ole Miss. And I was just talking about Austin Simmons at Ole Miss. So anyway, let's go first right here with, do you see Jackson Arnold right here?
Yeah, he's not happy. I mean, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
happy.
he's got that little whatever look. And so you can see, look at his fingers down here. Do you see my mouse moving?
Yep.
Yeah. And so there's the index finger, the pointing finger. And then you can see right there, this is where we go top, 2, 5. All right. And then the thumb on the backside right there should be below the white stripe. And you can see that he's kind of over, a little bit further over than what your classic grip is that I just showed you. The index finger, look, is a little high. It's more toward the white stripe. And then that one right there, that one's more 1, not, so it should be this one right here, top, 2, 5. And you can see he is more toward the top of the football. Okay. That's really not going to help you a lot with regard to spinning the ball. And as a quarterback, that's what you want. I mean, you want the ball to spiral. It's much easier to catch a ball that is spiraling than one that is kind of knuckleballing. Okay. So we looked at that one right there. So now let me go back. Present. Oh, share screen. And so I'm going to go back. What am I doing wrong there, Jack?
You're trying to break the fourth wall again.
Stream to this, no.
Yep.
Enjoy the show, stream your and stop sharing.
Yep.
I don't know what I've done there. All right, so I go upstream to your audience? No.
Mm-hmm.
Present. Share screen. There it is again. I'm sorry. I'm going to get this figured out.
Yeah. It will get nipped in the bud. We're going.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see it.
All right, so now let's go.
Are we going on the link for the picture of where he was at Oklahoma?
Yes. Is that it right there? Are you seeing that?
Uh-huh.
All right. So there he is when he was at Oklahoma. And you can see where his fingers, he's more toward the nose, right there, the center part, right? That's what we call the nose of the ball. And you see where his thumb is? His thumb should be below the white stripe. Follow that? Should be below the white stripe, somewhere down around here. And then you can see he's throwing from more of the crown of the ball, the nose of the ball. Not going to help you throw, a spiral. I mean, science has shown this over and over and over. All right. So now let's go back. So I'll exit out of that. So now let's look at his throwing motion. All right. And then, all right. So here we go right here. Let me make sure the volume's off. Good. So here we are. We're going to look at his throwing motion. Can you see this, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there he is.
Boom.
So one of the things I noticed, and you can't really, he's blocked right there, but one thing I noticed, if you see my little mouse hand right there, is he throws the ball very low. All right. See, when he's releasing the ball, the elbow's bent. All right. So we'll see a side profile here in just a second. There's another one that's kind of blocked. But right here. Now, look at that right there. Let's go back just to one, bam, bam. Anyway, I'm trying to catch it right in between. And you're going to see where he's going to throw this ball right at his ear. Okay? Right at the ear. And so remember, see how when we talk about throwing the ball, we want to be up here top, throwing over to the top. He's going to release this ball. You're going to see it again. I'll let it play. You're going to see him over and over. He's going to release the ball low. Now, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". Watch him. He's going to release the ball. Look how low that is. So he's making himself shorter in the pocket. We always want to, throw over the top. Now here's another quarterback that throws the same thing. It's kind of low. You're a quarterback, you want to throw over the top of the ball. And so let's go back a little bit further. And if you watch as I go back, maybe a little further, you'll see, watch how low, right by his ear. Again, whoop, right by his ear. Was that 20 seconds?
Oof.
Again, right by his ear. Look at that. Did you see it? All
Yep.
right. So I mean, he's making himself short. Watch, short. I mean, if you're 6'2", you've just made yourself 5'9". So not fundamentally sound right there. So now let's go back and we'll go to Mr. Austin Simmons, okay, out of Ole Miss. Where's his all right,
And
so
Zachary Wilges, our guy Zachary Wilges says Jackson Arnold's grip of the football allows for non-proper technique, makes it easy for the defense to read and make a move on the football.
Yeah, it's just not a classic grip and release. Very low, very low. Now, Austin Simmons right here, he is, you can see his thumb is down. His grip is a lot more fundamental. I like his grip. But look where he is with his elbow slot. He's going to look, see how tall he is right there?
Mm-hmm.
And see, the ball should be up higher, up here. Make yourself taller. Now, of course, he may be throwing an underneath route and want to slip it in between players, something like that. But when I look at it, I'm looking at it consistently. His grip is a lot more conventional, a lot more fundamental. But now let's watch him throw the ball. He's a baseball player, all right, and he throws a football a lot like a baseball, meaning not very over the top, not elevating the release. So I'm going to exit this out and then, whoops, go back here. Am I still good, Jack?
Yep.
Okay, there's Mark Simmons throwing motion. Now what I'm going to do with this, hopefully the sound's off. Good. I'm going to speed it up. Now this is a mock pro day. And so what it is he's doing drills that when a senior quarterback is wanting to perform in front of pro scouts and stuff like that. He's doing some of the drills that they would do in this, pro day. But this is not an actual because he's not a pro yet, or he's not trying to be. He's still eligible to play. So it's a mock. So the drills he's using are, mock drills. All right. And so then we'll get back through here. Here he is right here. Throwing the ball. Now you can see, look where that ball is right there. It's elevated a much more so than who? Jackson Arnold. See how he's up here? Jackson Arnold's right by his helmet. That helps. Okay, I'm real not excited about opening up this hand right here. He should open it up a lot more. But the problem is he plays baseball, and when you play baseball, that's pretty much where you hold your glove. You see what I'm saying? When you're throwing the baseball,
Oh, yeah.
You kind of hold your glove, and you're going to see several times where his fingers right here, instead of expanding out, are kind of crunched, okay, which is kind of the problem with regard to playing quarterback and playing college baseball. All right, so we'll see here. See a little bit low right there. Here's from behind. Let's see if he elevates. Not probably enough. Same thing. All right, here we go right here. All right, and see where his hands are together? See, that left hand, this one right here, should be a little more open. But since he pitches, that's where the glove, when you pitch a baseball, your glove's going to be about right there when you're striding toward the plate. Okay? And then we'll see here in just a couple of seconds. Getting more in front. Right now we're looking from behind, but see right there, not really elevating, mostly by his ear. Here we'll see just a little on the move. So here he's sprint out, rotating the shoulder, lefty. I'll find you one a little bit more. See a little. tall, striding like he's throwing a fastball. See if we can find him more in front. Here we go. Let's fast forward here. But say he released it by his ear. And let's see if we can catch a couple of. Oh, here we go from the front. Let me go back just before. I want to see a nice one with the follow through. All right, so you can see his hand. You can see him getting ready to grip the ball. Let's see. How can I slow this down? Remind me how I can slow it down.
Go to settings.
Hold on. I'm just going to see if I can get lucky here. So he's stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there, that right there. You can see his hand right there. I would like to see he's starting to spread those fingers. Let's just. Oh, right there. It was totally in his chest. All right. All right, see that hand right there? See how close it is to his chest instead of way over here, opening up that chest? So anyway, where'd you say go?
Yeah, go to that little tool that's next to closed captioning.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, playback speed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back and see right here. I'm glad you. Oh, we might want to go a little further. All right, so here we go. But it's from a distance. But see how that hand right there. We go back just a hair. Here we go. See where the hand is? It needs to be more out in front. And see right there where it's right under his chin. On that one, you can see where it was right under his chin. It needs to be more way out in front. Anyway, we'll see if one last, I won't belabor the argument, but you can see right here, watch his right hand and see where it's under his chin. Okay, that's where the glove would be if you were pitching on the mound. In your chest, throwing the football, your chest should be a lot more open. So one last time, let's look at his right hand. Right hand. See where it is under his chin? Okay, it needs to be more across his face, out. And now you're generating torque, which we talked about earlier. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to exit out of that. And so what I've been, of course, I'm doing my little deep dive. And are we back?
Yep, we're back. We're back to breaking the 250 sits wall again.
All right. Well, anyway, so I'm looking at all this, and so right now I've done 4 quarterbacks, and fundamentally, now like I said, I'm not behind them. I don't know how they're reading, how they, and some of them maybe eventually I'll get to that point right there. I'll see how they're reading the secondary, if they're making the right decisions, and then I'll generate another rating. But right now, I've done Jackson Arnold, Austin Simmons. I've done Ty Simpson, and then of course Arch Manning out at Texas. And the way I have them ranked based on what I'm seeing fundamentally as a guy quarterback coach, I would put at the top Ty Simpson. He's got the best release, the most fundamentally sound. Second would be Austin Simmons out of Ole Miss. Third, Jackson Arnold grips the ball pretty good. I mean, it's still a little toward the nose end. And then his release is really low by his ear. I've got him third, and then Arch Manning, unfortunately, I've got him. I mean, gosh, his grip is so. Now he big kid. He probably throw it 100 yards and probably throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and that kind of stuff. And maybe he can read out the wind and process information through the brain as far as judging coverages. But all I'm doing is basing mine on fundamentals of throwing the ball, and that's where I've got them ranked: Ty Simpson, Austin Simmons, Jackson Arnold, and Arch Manning.
There we go.
on the next week.
There we go. I'm
And I'll
excited
get
about
better.
next.
I'll get better at the pictures and the video. I'll get better
Oh
at it.
man, Jeffrey and our Nets guest for Nets Week will love this. That's for sure. For Nets Week, I won't tell everybody who our Nets guest is until Thursday at the start of the 36th edition of the call-in show. So I'm gonna keep everybody waiting, wanting for more for sure.
Yeah.
But Coach, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
What's your what is something you get for Father's Day?
Well, if you do a lot of reading, I know the answer to that question.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Maybe we can ask some clones or some doppelgangers. I think this doppelganger of Mark Rogers can tell us a little more.
All right.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
There you go. Oh, man. Shop on Amazon using the link to support the Voice of College Football. You don't need to buy the product displayed. It doesn't cost you a penny, and you get the same shopping experience, especially for Father's Day. There you go. There's like 30% off everything on Father's Day, and there you go. Rocking and rolling. Alrighty, so we had some big news that happened on Friday. And it was the House settlement. Now, I wonder, how does it affect the Alabama Crimson Tide exactly? Because, I mean, do we lose a few sports that are, like, not really the main ones? Like, say, do we lose, like, softball? Like, what happens to that? Like, what's gonna happen for the Crimson Tide? Like, how does it affect the Crimson Tide exactly?
Well, you know, Jack, you got Title IX, and so you've got to offer the same number of male sports as you offer female, and scholarship offers and stuff have to match, and it'll be interesting. Per funding it, here we are. We're in purgatory. Nobody knows. I mean, we're sitting in limbo. What's going to happen? But all I know is whatever you offer male, you got to offer female, and you're not going to be able to get rid of certain female sports without getting rid of a certain number of male sports. So with the financial implications, who knows? And now I wish they would have had a plan before they started all this. I mean, now we're 5 years into this, knowing that all of this was in, the process, knowing that a decision was eventually going to be made. The NCAA has done nothing to prepare. Why didn't they have a plan if this was the decision by the judge? Why did they not have a plan ready to institute? It's like NCAA every day. I've said it for months now. NCAA is becoming more and more irrelevant. I mean, it's just irrelevant. And so, but I can tell you this now: if you cut, you want to, whatever revenue you start cutting sports, you got to keep those male female Title IX. You got to, if you cut female, you got to cut male.
Well, Pit Snipe Husker says they read today Alabama's also seeking private equity. UCLA and Penn State were the first to sign equity deals today.
Wow.
Huh.
So now we're going to the stock market. We're going to fund the program. We're going to invest in the stock market. Let's see how that goes.
I mean, it's better than like
they're going to start selling shares. Hey, Jack, they're going to start selling shares. You gonna buy a share?
Oh man, I'm in.
All right.
Anyway,
Yes, you did. No plan. No plan.
so we're looking at the limits, right? And starting on the 1st of July, each school will be allowed but not required to spend roughly 20.5 million in new payments to their athletes. And that figure comes from a negotiated formula that caps athlete payments at 22% of the average annual revenue that FBS level schools get from ticket sales, broadcast rights, few other items. That cap's going to grow on a regular basis in the 10-year lifespan of the settlement as the school's revenue expands via scheduled incremental increases. Sports economist Daniel Rasher, a subject matter expert used in the settlement process, wrote they expect it will grow to more than 30 million per year by the time the deal expires.
But here's the deal. I'm no brainiac, but the concept is this. Okay, I'm offering you scholarship to play whatever sport. All right. You volunteer to sign that scholarship, meaning I'm going to pay for your education, whatever that may be. All right. You volunteered to sign it to play. Then you volunteer to follow my rules. I'm not obligated to pay you a certain amount of money. Volunteer to play, volunteer to follow my rules. It's like if I'm a high school coach and I make a rule that my players blah 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 must do this, right? You don't want to follow that rule? Quit. Don't ask me to change the rule. It's volunteer. Volunteer to follow my rules. Part of the deal. But now, we got to pay them. Pay them. Good luck on that. So now they're going to dole out $20 million to how many athletes at a university? And so now it comes down, you play football, you get this amount. You play lacrosse, you get this amount. And now what's the equity in that going to be? Previous to this was scholarship education. Football, you got the free education. You got a lacrosse scholarship, free education. It was the same. Now we're going to change the metrics. This sport makes more revenue, so we're going to pay these players more money.
Well, and MJ Thompson says that's a fair analogy. I think he agrees with you on that.
It was simple. It only worked for 100 years, Jack. It only worked for 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the universities in the 1950s and 60s were profiting off and they were given, and then, they were paying scholarships and all this other kind. And I understand now the money is greater and people, and I've said all along, if you're just like an actor, if you are a player, okay, and somebody wants to put you in a commercial and pay you to be in a commercial, fine. That's you, and that's a private enterprise.
Yeah.
The university has nothing to do with that. Now, of course, if the university wants to sell your jersey, then maybe, they want to sell your image. Maybe they should, that kind of stuff. But now it's mandated. Now they're trying to force it upon everybody. Now, how fair is it to the smaller schools? The elites. See how that works. Every time you get to the king and queen and the elitist stuff, to see how that works. You reckon there's going to be a rebellion? Seems like there always is.
It's always something. But it says that the NCAA's next steps are from Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, and many of his colleagues. They say the only way to solve these remaining legal problems is for Congress to write a new law that blocks athletes from becoming employees, gives the association an antitrust exemption to make rules that would limit players' earning power. In the weeks ahead, we will work to show Congress why the settlement is both a massive win for student athletes and a roadmap to legislative reform. The NCAA and its schools have been lobbying federal lawmakers to help during the past several years, but they have made little progress toward a new law. They hope that the expensive compromises they made in the settlement will spur some action in the coming year.
Okay, being proactive. They knew the outcome might go against, and so they should already have a plan set forth, and not just start all of a sudden today, or this last week. All of a sudden now we're going to start the process. They sure already had everything laid out. Wait, all their NCAA should have already. All right, what happens if they vote this way? This is what we're going to do, and they may have that. We don't know yet, but they may have that plan already ready to enact and push forward. And God hope us, God hope them, God hope all. I hope that's the scenario. But right now, I ain't feeling too good about it. I think it's just too late to the dance.
Well, we also have like a thing from the Players' Net Steps, where it says growing group of athletes and their advocates say the best way to solve the industry's remaining legal problems is through collective bargaining. Professional sports are able to set legal salary caps and restrict player transfers by negotiating for those powers with a players' union. Because college athletes are not employees, they can't form unions. Without unions, it's not clear that any of the limits negotiated in the new settlement can stand up to future antitrust lawsuits. Sedona Prince, a lead plaintiff in one of the lawsuits that led to the settlement, told ESPN on Friday night that she and her peers hope the settlement is a launching pad to increase players' power in shaping new rules. We just walked into a new world, said Prince, who wrapped up her college basketball career earlier this year. It's a guideline for us to build and add to in the future. We need this foundation. Now we're being treated like semi-pro athletes. But there are a lot of concerns going forward for improvement in player health and player representation in decision-making. Prince is a member of athletes.org, one of several groups that is aiming to form player associations that could evolve into unions in the future. These groups and college administrators are already gearing up for the next tedious stages of a battle that will continue to play out in courtrooms and the halls of Congress for years to come. Halls of Congress, good grief.
Pretty positive news, huh? Yeah. See how all this plans out. I just said it's it's going to take a while unless they're proactive and already have everything set up to push it forward and move and get some kind of agreement, some kind of next level settlement. I mean, it's going to take forever, and then consequently, people are going to start losing more and more and more interest. I mean, when you want to start paying an 18-year-old, I mean, gaboodles of money, gosh. And you create an entitlement culture. I mean, how good is that? Everybody's entitled. I play this, so I deserve more money. Well, I play this. Why am I? I mean, it's just it's doom and gloom every day we turn around.
I guess you can't fade away from the bad stuff, I guess. But, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff. But the good thing is about being down is the way to go is up. That's the way I see it.
I just want to know if there's a plan. If there, I don't care what the plan is there a plan already set so we can start tomorrow instead of waiting 6, 8, a year from now? We're still nowhere.
And our guy, Zachary Wilges, says this will bring more lawsuits and entitlement among the players.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've got this comment pulled up from our guy, Zachary Wilges, and he says, this will bring more lawsuits and entitlement among the players.
And here's what's going to happen, Jack, that I don't know. I haven't heard it from too many people. Okay, because everybody equal pay for, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, equal pay. And then what's going to happen? Because a lot of people are talking, well, the WNBA, those players, those female basketball players are not as paid as much as their male counterparts. So what's going to happen here is all the male basketball, football, baseball players You know, are they going to be paid a lot more than? Are they going to do? You see where I'm going with that, Jack?
Yep.
Because that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
There's another hornet's nest.
well, Zachary shares your same sentiment that college football is becoming a junior pro league.
Yeah, exactly. Equal pay, equal pay. Well, I'm selling more tickets than your sport.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? College football, there's 100,000 people in the stands. College basketball, you got what, 10?
Yeah.
Why should we be paid the same?
Oh yeah.
And then of course you got revenue and that kind of stuff. If you have 100, the revenue for colleges is in not so much the ticket sales, it's in the concessions. I mean, you got a big old football stadium. I mean, people are going by, the concessions, that's where the money is, the concessions. And so you got football, $100,000 or $100,000, 100,000 seat stadium, and you got a basketball, it's only 10,000. So basketball is not going to generate as much income, but they're going to expect the same amount of pay.
Yeah.
And then the male basketball, boys basketball versus female.
Well,
It'll
it'll be interesting to see what's going on. But like you said, there has to be a plan.
Yeah, and is there one? I just want to know: is there a plan?
Good question, because that's what it's going to be. Is there a plan? Is there not a plan? What's going on? What's going on, Scoob?
Yeah.
But we know of some people that have plans. That's the Voice College Football. Got the Voice College Football. Come on. Keep loading. Keep loading. There we go. There we go. Beautifully done. We got the guys from Texas at the Voice College Football. Matthew and Gerald, man. I love what they're bringing to the table. You got Tucker Harlan from Vols Wire and Jordan Binkley from Tennessee Volunteers Live. And you got us breaking the fourth wall, inside the 16th wall, inside the 64th wall, inside the 256th wall. It's coming. It's coming. We're breaking that fourth wall. There we go. There we go. Coach, how you feeling about breaking the fourth wall, man?
I got the sledgehammer.
There you go.
I got a sledgehammer. I can sling that thing. I'm a little older, but I can still sling that sucker and knock it down.
Oh man, there it is. Got the fourth wall break. There's 64th, 256, and oh man, man, we're just kind of like the Deadpool of college football commentary, where it's like Deadpool is just breaking the fourth wall all the time. Like we just break the fourth wall during ad breaks.
Mm.
So there it is. There it is. Breaking that wall again. And we got Chris and Josh Helmer on the Iowa Primetime Live show. And we got Chad Tierney. I got to tell you, who needs Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce when you got Chad and Tierney Smith on Oklahoma at the Voice of College Football for the Center Smith's live show Monday nights on Oklahoma at the Voice of College Football? I got to tell you, they bring all kinds of magic, and they're going to be having the Ghost of Texas football. And let me tell you, it's going to be terror time again when it's Texas and Oklahoma going against one another. That is for sure. You got Garrison having on Mark Rogers, the man himself, the owner, the founder, CEO of the Voice of College Football himself, going on Primetime Live to discuss the disputed national champions, college football's historical 1990s reset. There we go. And you got the Instagram account. I can tell you right now, there's magic all over the place. Top-notch discussion, debate, analysis with no off-season. Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, the Kentucky offense, the West Virginia offense, college football 26, the alternate covers. Ugh, aren't those beautiful? I don't want a PS5, but I gotta tell you, that game, that stuff makes me want to go get college football 26. I mean, these social media posts on the Voice of College Football make me want to. Auburn's projected offense. Here we go. And you got the Facebook account for the Voice of College Football. Mark went live earlier today, and you saw the house settlement take from Mark Rogers, the man himself. The world famous Buckeye Show from Clee Mike and Terry T. And you got the Voice of College Football TikTok account, where you got 4th and 31 from the Crimson Tide in 2023. Isaiah Bond with the game winner. Everyone is cheering. Everyone. Bama man. Not this lady, though. She is not happy. The one praying, I mean, she's praying, but I don't think she's too happy. I don't think she These guys are not happy, though. I mean, they're looking like they are not happy. I mean, the curly haired lady is not happy. She's like saying,
she's going home. She's packed it in. She went home.
Oh yeah, she's fine, but she's not fine. A lot of y'all know what that means. Like when someone says I'm fine, they're not fine sometimes. But college football 26 is 31 days. The game's coming up. And you got the best teams with the vacated games. 2004-5 USC. 2005 Alabama. Man, we should have beaten Auburn LSU that year, but we didn't. Oh well, what's done is done. That 2009 Georgia Tech team. Magic all over the place from that team. 2010 Ohio State. The 2012 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Hey, I mean, maybe you can maybe the NCAA can vacate those games, but they're never vacated here. And for some of you, they're not vacated here. That we can promise you. All right there. But speaking of legends, our guy Ryan Williams was hanging out with a legend. Old Devontae Smith. And so is Isaiah Horton. You know, Williams and Isaiah Horton are amazing together. Like, I mean, if they are being this awesome on air and off air, I can't wait to see what they can bring on the field together. I mean, Horton heard the Tide calling him from Miami last year. He heard Gruden calling for him. He hears Devontae Smith giving that advice. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Ryan Williams loved it. And he says, quote, and he tells Reese Davis on last week's edition of the College Game Day podcast, it was just learning from a guy that really defied a lot of the odds. Like, he's an amazing football player, but he's an even better person. So just for him to accept me and us being able to bounce ideas off each other and really get after it, those couple days were super fun. And I learned a lot. I've been playing it ever since. I'm just super excited for this season. Smith, who's gaunt, 6 foot and 170-pound frame, makes him an anomaly in the NFL. He's Alabama's all-time leading receiver with school records in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. 235 receptions, 3,965 yards, 46 touchdowns after racking up 117 catches for 1,856 yards and 23 touchdowns during his 2020 Heisman Trophy senior campaign. Given his smaller frame, he's affectionately known as Smitty or the Slim Reaper. Makes his living by being among the NFL's most effective route runners and big play threats whenever he touches the ball. It's Smith's meticulous efficiency and purposeful work ethic that Williams saw firsthand while training with him in Tampa. But it's how Smith is able to effectively prioritize technique over talent that the former 5-star wideout is taking back with him ahead of his sophomore season in Tuscaloosa. Ryan Williams says everything that Devontae Smith does is very deliberate. I just say everything that he does is very deliberate. Like you can see his body movements, because if you just look at him, he's not the biggest guy. So just the way he's able to control his body is truly remarkable. And I learned a lot about the little details, about how I could do that for myself and just taking my game to next level. In particular, Williams was captivated by the way Smith utilizes his body, particularly his hips, to routinely keep opposing defensive backs guessing. It was that consistency that Williams hopes to emulate throughout his season at Alabama. Everything looks the same. Every time he comes off the ball, it all looks the same. And that's what you want as a receiver anyways. Williams said of Smith, I'd just say, the way he sinks his hips, I learned a lot. We really talked about that. Just being able to disorient the defensive back is pretty much half our job, because the rest is just making a play. So just being able to apply what you do every single day and always making it look the same is what I took away. Williams is eager to build off last season's breakout freshman campaign when the freshman, former five-star product, led Alabama with 865 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, 48 receptions. And with the Crimson Tide replacing multi-year starting quarterback Jalen Milroe, Williams will be undoubtedly the go-to target for whoever ultimately wins the QB competition between Ty Simpson and Austin Mack in year 2 under Kalen DeBoer. Coach, how you feeling about Brian Williams and Isaiah Horton hanging out with Devontae Smith?
Well, evidently they've found a good relationship, and it'll be good to see on the field because both of them are great athletes. And if you can have somebody that can, I mean, if you got two guys that can occupy the secondary, I mean, that's a great situation to be in. You can't just focus on one and create a scheme to stop one. Now you got to stop two. And then if you got a running back, and now you're just creating monsters. But I think for Alabama, I'm looking more. I want to see a tight end. I want to see something going on with the tight end, and because I think that is the hidden dimension. You can get to that. You can get that ball to that tight end a lot of different ways, movement. I mean, like any receiver, but you can get the ball to tight end quick, and which takes a lot of it takes a lot of pressure off the offense, but adds pressure to the defense. So I hope they use, and they started utilizing the tight end more and more, and I just like the tight end being that little whatever factor.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun seeing what happens. Because I had so much fun watching Brian Williams and Isaiah Horton hanging with Coach Gruden, and then we're seeing them hanging out with Devontae Smith. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, they're getting to learn from legends. That is so cool.
And that's good that they're utilizing their time in that way. Learn, educate.
Oh, yeah.
Key to success is knowledge.
Because knowledge is power.
All the time. I mean, the more knowledge you acquire, the more value you generate for yourself. So anyway, that's a good scenario.
Agreed. Because they're going to be learning quite a lot. Man, it's going to be magical.
Yeah. What you got going on? You busy boy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting some stuff out the way, and I may have some more stuff coming your way. Like some writing.
Good. Yeah. There you go. Well, I've written a lot, so it's interesting.
Oh yeah.
You have to learning to write, and writing it requires a little discipline, requires a little bit of imagination, requires reading is easy, but writing and creating and taking somebody to get them to read your words and understand what you're saying is it's a talent. It's not easy.
For sure. Like, for example, the summary I'm writing on this show for a friend who
Yeah.
does the USC primetime live show, Trojans Wire. He makes all kinds of matches, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But not
But
everybody can write. Not everybody can write. I mean, well, I don't mean it that way. We learn to write as kids and stuff like that. But being able to take thought and putting it down on paper in a way that people can understand and comprehend is that's a higher order of skill.
yeah.
Now I'm getting in the realm of educator and philosopher. So
That's
anyway,
all right. But I will say though, you know the name Joel Klatt from Big Noon Kickoff.
Yeah.
Well, he believes that if Alabama loses to Tennessee this season, that Bama fans are going to get real impatient with him. He believes that the coaching staff could be immense pressure if Alabama doesn't beat Tennessee. That could get a little uncomfortable for Kalen DeBoer when you look at that schedule. Tennessee at home, October 18th. That's the moment on the schedule. He went on to great detail about the upcoming meeting with the Tennessee Volunteers and the possible ramifications it could have on the Tide's upcoming season if they were to fall tough in a schedule that is more backloaded. Obviously, you got Georgia. So let's just say if you're losing Tennessee, you probably lost Georgia. So that'd be your second loss SC. Then you still have to go to South Carolina, then host LSU. Well, listen now. If you were just to lose Tennessee, who doesn't have Nico Lamaliva, and now you're about to go play Lenore Sanders, Garrett Nussmeier, I think South Carolina, LSU are both better teams than Tennessee. John Mater is better than any option Tennessee has at quarterback. You still have to play Oklahoma. You still have the Iron Bowl. So think about that for a moment. Let's just throw that out there. Like, let's say you lose a close one to Georgia, but then lose a home game Tennessee. Now all of a sudden you likely have to run table in order to finish like a 9-3 finish. And we saw what 9-3 did last year, even in the SEC. We thought for a lot of years in a 12-team playoff that a 9-3 team would go to the playoff. And guess what? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So the pressure would go through the rough for Kalen DeBoer. But that spot, that Tennessee game at home, he's got to win that game. I'm going to be honest. It really matters if you make it to the playoffs. Because, I mean, like, it's going to bite us if we're losing to Tennessee Auburn. But, I mean, I don't see that happening. But, I mean, like 2017.
Well, you can flip the script because I'm going to predict Alabama is going to beat Oklahoma, and I'm going to predict Alabama is going to beat Vandy.
Well, obviously, we'll beat Vandy.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that. And I understand kind of, yeah, Alabama doesn't like to lose Tennessee. Don't like to lose anybody. Crap. But in what he's saying in the schedule, Alabama's toughest games are going to be Georgia. That one's going to be tough because we're going to have to go to Georgia. And if I'm looking at it, they better pay attention to South Carolina. Definitely.
Well, I mean, as long as Georgia
I'm going to profile him.
As long as Georgia has Mike Bobo as offensive coordinator, I don't like Georgia's chances of beating us. I'm just like South Carolina and Auburn. Those are the games that worry me the most, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so does Zachary. Like, it's same with Zachary Wilges. As they say, great minds think alike.
There you go.
So you and I are very similar. Like, because this guy, Zachary, like, if you heard him on Thursday night when Coach Smith was subbing in for Jeffrey, Coach, like, you'll hear, like, Zachary where he talked a little bit about South Carolina, Auburn being the ones that could bite us. And I couldn't agree more. Because, like, Auburn at Jordan Hare, We have not won by double digits against Auburn since 2015. Like, Gravity Falls was at part 2 of Weird Mageddon at that time. We didn't have Tit Talk at that time. The Tennessee Volunteers were mid. They were mid in 2015. That's Jeffrey's favorite word, by the way. But then you got the South Carolina Gamecocks. We almost blew it last year. We almost blew it. Like, oh man, thank God we won that game. But I gotta tell you, we may not get so lucky against South Carolina if we're having some of the same stuff we had last year against them. I mean, South Carolina was just like forming themselves a little bit. That was like the last loss before their bowl game. And I would not be surprised if I see South Carolina finishing in the top 4 this season in the SEC.
Yeah.
And if you're a top 4 team in the Big Ten or the SEC, you're automatically in the playoffs. I mean, Lenore Sanders and those guys in Columbia, they'll give us a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. And got to pay attention to it. It's a little asterisk on the little schedule right there.
Oh, yeah. And he also says Georgia's not going to be difficult for us because they don't have an elite quarterback. They don't have what it takes to get us this year. Oh, I mean, they were in a close game last season, like every week. Like, it was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like, this year, I'll go as far as to say that I think Florida and Georgia Tech could end that losing streak to Georgia. I think both of them could. Auburn's going to give him a dog.
That's all. That's you said that. We got this on video. Okay. Georgia Tech.
I think Georgia Tech can pull off that upset this year. I mean,
I'll tell you what, if that happens, you need to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost did it last year. I mean, Brent Key's going to have his boys ready this season. That, like, Georgia Tech is my surprise team from the ACC this year. I mean, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs this year, but they'll get damn near close to it. I promise you.
I hear you, man.
I mean, and by the time he's got all his guys there, all his guys, not all those Paul Johnson boys, not Paul Johnson, Jeff Collin boys.
Yeah.
He's got all his guys there. There's Georgia Tech boys. I think by the time conference realignment picks back up, you're going to see them knocking on the door to come back in the SEC. And we'll be like, the SEC will go, come on in. But, yeah, but like the Tennessee game, if Alabama does lose to Tennessee, I can see where fans get rowdy a little bit. I mean, as well as they should be. As well as they should be. Because, I mean, like, we saw, like, Ohio State.
Well, I mean, it just means they've taken over the rivalry. And we went through the Philip Fulmer years and stuff like that, and the angst and all that kind of stuff. And, you work so hard to overcome, those type of droughts. And it would just seem like it was starting again. It's like, oh no, here we go again. Just one of those deals. So I agree with you. I'm gonna have to take a look and do a little more in-depth little look at depth charts and what's going on with regard to that. But I agree with you. It would be not sit well with Alabama fans to let that. We worked so hard and suffered so much. And I know Tennessee suffered. I don't care about Tennessee, but I'm talking about Alabama. I remember those years and everything. And to get it to where we were is, what we kind of not been real whatever the last 3, 4, 5 years, but just got to get back to where we feel comfortable, that in control of that rivalry. You just don't want to be behind in a rivalry, and you don't want to go through the Tuberville fear of the thumb and all that kind of stuff. We've done those ugly. I mean, Alabama was in purgatory for a long time. Use that word again, but you just don't. You just somebody like me that experienced it. I mean, and you experience. You don't want to go back through it because it's hard to dig out because if it happens, then the board's going to be on the hot seat now. Everything just spirals from that, and then we got to go through Mike DeBose and Mike Price and Shula, Mike Shula, and all that kind of blah, blah, blah. So just don't want to do it again. You'd feel like we're headed back to the wrong place. We've worked so hard and been so successful digging out of. We don't want to go back to that scenario.
Well, and I will say this, though. I don't think it's going to be Tennessee dominating that rivalry, but I don't think it's Bama dominating. I think it's just going to be like A-B pattern, B, A, B. Like, because, I mean, what Josh Heupel's doing at Tennessee, he's putting a scare into us. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I could say I like him a lot more, way more than Phil Former. I'm never gonna like Phil Former. Sorry.
Yeah, he rubbed everybody the wrong way, especially in Alabama.
Well, he's a snitch. That's the thing.
Are you gonna vote for Tuberville when he runs for governor?
Too soon.
Too soon to make a decision. All right.
It's like, but
all right, man. So what we got going into the next week?
Well, we've got more Magic coming the way, the 42nd edition. But you may see me subbing in for Manny again on tomorrow's edition of the Alabama Primetime Live Show with Coach Smook, and you may see me, and of course, you're definitely going to see Jeffrey back from vacation, and he's going to be back on the next edition of the Alabama Call-In Show Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the 36th edition, where we take your calls. All right here on Alabama Voice College Football. You can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I'm 325 subs away from the magic number 1,000. I'll need all the help I can get, and of course, I got my latest episode, The Jacksonian, with Gabriel Pickup, our guy from Rutgers at the Voice of College Football, and the founder of NBA Trades and Rumors, all right there. And if you want to hear more updates on what I've got on Alabama at the Voice of College Football, or The Jacksonian, or once a week on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises, check me out on Jackson BOCFB on /Twitter, Instagram Threads, Jackson Johnson 543908, and on Blue Sky, where Mike Debate says where the skies are blue. Some say the skies are overcast. Some say the skies are permanently gray. But either way, you can check me out on all those lanes. And you can check out Coach Burt's on Johnny Burt's 5 on Facebook. You can give him a little friend request, give a little nudge. And you can give him a follow on Johnny H. Burt's on Instagram. And we've got to find his X account somewhere on those archives. There is something. But we're going to find his X account. No worries. We're going to get him. And when we do, you can give him a follow. And coming soon, Alabama at the Voice College Football is having its own social media account. So you're going to be very happy to see what's coming the way from Alabama at the Voice College Football. And, of course, you can check us out on Crimson Tide Live and on the Alabama Primetime Live Show, not only here on YouTube or on /Twitter, but on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Please leave a rating and review. And like, comment, subscribe. Click on the notification bell to Alabama at the Voice College Football so you never miss another video or another episode whatsoever. And we will see you soon. And roll Tide!